Brexit is not the only reason for shortages, as global supply chains from microchips in cars to HGV drivers in Europe all take their toll. But now Canada is running low on maple syrup as reserves are tapped into. Some are mocking leaving the EU in the process. Canada has been forced to tap into its reserves as maple syrup supplies run low after a meager harvest. The Canadian province of Quebec suffered a poor harvest of maple syrup and has been forced to release about £50 million of the golden stuff to keep up with demands. Taking the argument of global supply shortages online, Dan Hodges posted a link to the Canadian syrup shortage and simply wrote the word Brexit next to it. Dennis Carey added, "That's right, Dan. I remember all those Remoaners going on about how Canada would never run low on maple syrup if we left the EU. Definite proof, if more proof were needed, that Brexit is a great idea." Continuing the debate, James Reed said, "It's remarkable that many UK commentators can't believe supply shortages can happen in other parts of the world too." Trying to justify the reasons for the shortages, the debate continued with James Gowland, who said, "Yes, but when it happens in the UK a lot of people automatically blame Brexit." He added, "How come the rest of the Western world are having exactly the same problems yet ours happen to be down to Brexit, as if without Brexit we magically wouldn't have these problems when everything else still is." But the situation does not solely lie at the syrupy golden liquid enjoyed by Canadians and others around the world. The problem is much deeper than both Brexit and pound cakes. Global supply chains are creaking. Shortages of everything from raw materials to cars are nearing historic levels. Shipping rates have risen to multi-year highs, and consumers face delays and price increases that will stretch beyond the year-end holiday season. Much of the demand is in the US, where shoppers seem to have an endless appetite as the economy stages a comeback. Meanwhile, the supply is primarily in Asia, where many countries, chief among them China, still confront lockdowns and a rocky recovery out of the pandemic. Logistics networks. How companies and policymakers work through these challenges that are now weighing on growth will be critical. Different parts of the world have experienced supply chain issues that have been exacerbated for different reasons, too. For instance, power shortages in China have affected production in recent months, while in the UK, Brexit has been a big factor around a shortage of truck drivers, although this has been emulated across the entire EU bloc. The US is also battling a shortage of truckers, as well as also experiencing large backlogs at its ports. Elon Musk recently expressed his concerns about global shortages when addressing an online conversation with his followers. When asked about how his new Cybertruck was coming along, the Tesla CEO blamed supply chains for delays. Unfortunately, experts like Tim Wee of Moody's Analytics say that supply chain problems will get worse before they get better. He said, as the global economic recovery continues to gather steam, what is increasingly apparent is how it will be stymied by supply chain disruptions that are now showing up at every corner. He added, border controls and mobility restrictions, unavailability of a global vaccine pass, and pent-up demand from being stuck at home have combined for a perfect storm where global production will be hampered because deliveries are not made in time, costs and prices will rise, and GDP growth worldwide will not be as robust as a result. Concluding, the analyst said, supply will likely play catch-up for some time, particularly as there are bottlenecks in every link of the supply chain, labor certainly, as mentioned above, but also containers, shipping, ports, trucks, railroads, air and warehouses. For Canada, it can rest assured that Brexit has nothing to do with the shortage of maple syrup, and the same can be said for the problems in the UK with low-skilled labour shortages being a dominant factor across the entire European Union.